How are you at saving cash? Me? Not so great, but I have a couple tricks that help me keep a little dough on the side. Steve, aka Fish, with the first, and a great YouTube channel as well. Check it out. Hit the like, friendo. So I got my old notes back yesterday. A friend held them for me and loaned me the equivalent amount of cash so that I could take my vacation in July. It's important to remember, I'm merely upper poor, but I'm working on that. I believe if you want to get somewhere, first, you need to be honest about where you are. Like I said, where I'm at is upper poor, not quite lower middle class yet. All right, so I have a hard time saving cash. It's not like we're incentivized to hold on to this stuff, especially this past few years. The filthy fiat has been losing its purchasing power a little faster than usual. If you see everything around you going up, maybe they're not going up, you're just falling. So prices quickly rising everywhere perhaps is not gouging or greed, but is in fact the purchasing power of your petrol dollar declining. What else would you expect if 40% of the currency was just added to the supply in the past 4 years? You don't necessarily need to be an economist to realize the more of something there is, the less it is worth. I'm sure you already know this, but it's nice to hear it again sometimes. So if that's the case, who wants to hold on to this stuff? Well, it is a tool that we use, arguably that we must use. But like any tool, if we use it for the job that it is intended and not get carried away about its value, we can still be highly effective. Me, I want to hold some cash, just not too much of it for too long. You've probably heard that holding cash is like holding an ice cube. Ice cubes melt away and the purchasing power of your dollar melts away. The analogy is interesting, but both accurate and inaccurate. If I set out $1 and an ice cube, the ice cube would melt away far faster than the purchasing power of the dollar. I know, it's obvious, but it's important to make the distinction about how fast the purchasing power erodes so that we're not so incentivized to get rid of it. We got some time, all right? We don't have forever, but it's not an ice cube. If I go to sleep with some cash on my nightstand, it's still there in the morning. And if I put an ice cube on my nightstand, it's not gonna be there. Just some water. It's a mess. I regret leaving an ice cube on my nightstand. Cash does melt. I'm not trying to be an advocate of cash entirely, but it melts very slowly. At least for now, it does. Could it melt as fast as an ice cube one day? Sure, even faster. But how likely is that to happen anytime soon? It's not that likely, at least with the dollars. How much cash is good to hold? I've heard we should have an emergency fund at the ready for 3 months of expenses. And I've heard this should be as high as 8 months. At any given time, I usually have about 2 or 3 months worth of expenses in cash available. One of the things I do, like you see here, is save some of these interesting notes I come across. Look how many 4s are in the serial number on this $1 bill. I'm always checking out serial numbers. It's kind of a problem. That's what I get for not drinking, I guess. Oh, if you haven't already, please hit that like button for me, would ya? You keep hitting the likes, I'll keep showing up. Yeah, so I'm under no delusion that many of these bills are worth just the face value. And I'm also aware that many of them are very undeserving of these hard plastic drop sleeves. It's true, I often abuse protection. I just think they make the notes look so cool. And like I said before, it stops me from wanting to spend them. Even more so. I can't just quickly fold up all these notes and put them in my pocket and run out the door. I gotta take each one out, and then while I'm doing that, I'm like, do I really want to spend these? And sometimes that's all we need, is a little more time to think. And often that's enough for me to opt out of spending. Another way I save cash, you're probably not going to like this. I save change. More specifically, I save pennies and nickels. I also go to the bank and buy nickels as much as I can. If I could buy $1,000 worth of boxes of them right now, I would. Last time at the bank, I could only get 5 rolls. And that's with a business account. All right, so why the heck do I want these nickels? I dump them into 5-gallon water bottles. My goal is to have one in each room of my home. I think it's important to space them out as to not destroy the floors. Anyhow, a nickel's melt value is higher than 5 cents. And if inflation should persist, I mean, what are the odds of that, right? The melt value will be much higher than 5 cents. So when the cash is in nickel form, it's not an ice cube at all. In fact, imagine leaving an ice cube on your nightstand for 10 years and it grows. Anywho, how much do you think I want to dump out 5-gallon water bottles of nickels and pennies, roll them up and spend them? Yeah, not much. I am way too busy to do that. But say I lost my job or had no income for a little while and I still had to pay my bills, I could sit around, watch movies, and roll nickels up, sure. So in a way, they lie perfectly dormant in case such an emergency should happen. Or, here's a good one. What if someone breaks into my home and wants to steal some cash? If there's some kind of ravenous druggie, they're gonna see that bottle of nickels and pennies right by the door as soon as they walk in. It's obviously hundreds of dollars, maybe even 1,000. They may just go for that right away instead of investigating for more. And if they do look for more, yes, they'll find another one in another room, and so on and so on. But this is when the sticky spider web starts to take its grip. You see, they're very heavy, and they take up a lot of space. Chances are they'll make a lot of noise. It's gonna take both hands to pick them up or drag them, making the intruder a bit more vulnerable. If the dragon should be home, that's not a good thing. And let's say all goes well, you still have to cash it all in. And cashing in that much change, it's a noticeable event. But hey, let's say they take it and everything goes well for them. Who knows what other valuables they could have found if they would have just stuck around and not taken the coins. But a bird in the hand is better than two in the bush. So the heaviness and difficulty to spend of the coins is also a security feature. Hey, write me a comment down below, would you? Positive or negative, I can use the feedback. You can call me a fool if you like. In fact, I'll probably even use that in my next video if you do. If you're still here and you find yourself enjoying the content, subscribe for more and you will get more. That is how it works. Treat yourself kindly. You owe it to yourself to be part of this awesome community. Some have even said it's a cult because we're so close. It's not a cult. Well, I hope you enjoyed yourself because that is it. That is it! Thousand Air Radio, wicked job. Adios, amigo. Hasta mañana.